I'm Bethany. Thanks for watching. So for class 2, as always, start your class by sketching one of the fashion draw-along images. You're going to bring them to class every week. Make sure that they pick one that they haven't done yet, and then we'll rotate them around just to warm up and get ready to sketch. The first thing I want you to do is explain to your students why fashion figures are so tall and often very thin. It's just the way the fashion world is. You want people to look at the clothes when they're looking at drawings or people on a runway. That's not really fair, but that's just the way it is. If you're designing for larger people or for maternity or for children, obviously that's a different thing. But I just want to explain to the students why runway models are super tall and thin, and I hope that someday that changes, but that's the way it is. So fashion design or fashion illustration, the proportions in general, if you go to fashion school, this isn't me. This is what you're going to do if you go into fashion design. The proportions are different. So if this is an average woman, the average person is between 7 and 8 heads tall, which means that there are 7 of them, 7 of their heads tall to 8. But with a fashion figure, it will be 9 heads tall. So it's stretched up. And part of that is just so that you can show the detail of a piece of clothing and you just have more space. And it's just the way the world is right now. All of the students should have come to class having already chosen their target audience, their season, their occasion, and their style. Write down what each student picks for their body type, and you will need to print off 1 page per student for next week. So all of my students picked women. I will print those off for them. And they also need to have brought their mood boards finished. So here's an example of one of the mood boards of my students. She's doing a winter night sky inspired fashion line. You want each student to take a little bit of time talking about what the goals for their fashion line would be. And I shared that with them what my goals were for my fashion line that was Farmall inspired summer clothes for women. A few of my goals were sun protection, and there's a lot of mesh because it's hot, and just for keeping cool. I wanted the clothes to be easy to wear while you're gardening and not embarrassing to wear when you need to go to the store. So try to have each student come up with a couple goals just verbally that they will have for their fashion line. Make sure that they've written their 4 main goals in the front of their binder. For this class, what you want your students to do is to just go crazy with sketching. Nothing is wrong. Art is only wrong if someone's paying you to do it. So right now, your brain just needs to explode with anything it can. If you don't want people to see what you're doing, then put up a little folder, I don't know what they call those in the schools. You don't have to show people this. Just sketch and sketch and sketch. Do not erase. No erasing. If you don't like what you did, right next to it, start sketching it over. So I want your students to fill at least 3 pages in class of their brain just exploding, and for me it was Farmall inspired gardening summer clothes for women. And your brain just goes crazy with everything you can think of. And I drew tractors, I drew fences, I drew shoes, I drew tomato cages, I drew clothes that I was starting to think about, I drew hairstyles. You can do fabric, you can do hats, anything you want. Just fill sketchbook pages full. And if they get above 3, that's great. Have them do as many as they can. And then their homework is going to be to look at their mood board and images online with their parents' help and books, and go outside and look at the world and find things and just keep sketching. Sketch and sketch and sketch and sketch. And when they come back next week, we're going to have them circle the things that they absolutely loved. But if they don't do this process where they're coming up with as many ideas and putting them on paper, then we're not going to have much to work from. So that's really all you need to do for this week. I like to play music while I have students drawing and doing things where they don't necessarily need my instruction, and I like to play either instrumental or foreign music. I don't like to play anything that is modern or that they would recognize. I want it to be creative and inspirational, and if it's in a foreign language, they don't know what is being said anyway. So I usually bring in my phone and turn on iTunes radio on something different each week. While the students are working on sketching in class, please encourage them not to erase, and even bad ideas are important to write down. When it comes to anything aesthetic or artistic or creative, it's just as important to figure out what you don't want as it is to figure out what you do want. It's a process of working through, okay, I thought I liked that, no I don't, or I thought that was going to look good and it really was a bad idea. So even bad ideas are part of the creative process, so don't erase. With about 5 minutes left in class, especially this week and possibly every week, if you can go around and tell each student what you think they're doing well. And I know that if you're not an art teacher or an artist that it might be difficult. I'll just give you some examples of a couple students and what they did and how I encouraged them. This student was doing a really great job. She's doing a fashion line inspired by musical instruments, and she was doing a great job of sketching the instruments. I know a lot of the students just want to sketch clothes, but it's very important to push past just drawing the clothes. And so I told her that. I said, you're just doing a great job of incorporating drawings of your instruments, which will end up making a more interesting fashion line in the end. This student was doing a great job of sketching texture, trying to incorporate sequins on her dresses, and it was beautiful. You could see how it related to the images of the snow and the sky, and so she was doing a really good job, and I made sure everyone in the class heard that she's doing a great job of drawing texture. It's interpreting itself very well. This student was breaking out of just drawing the clothes or the girly things that she's being inspired by, and she's already started to draw shoes, and she's also doing a good job with textures. And so I made sure everyone knew that she was doing a good job of thinking about all the aspects of what she's going to have to draw to create a full fashion line. This student was doing a good job of drawing the clothes in a way that you could interpret the kind of fabric that she was going for. You could see the softness in the kind of fabric and the garments that she was drawing. It was just absolutely beautiful. So try to find something that you can say that's positive about each student that's a little different. That way they feel good about what they're doing.